Hey YouTube, it's Yolanda at DryerBuzz. Getting ready. I'm trying to brighten up the screen here and get it perfect for you guys. And make sure we get that basket of books in the shot as well. So we're getting ready to go live on Facebook. You guys will be watching, not necessarily behind the scenes, but if we ever get this thing really going, you're going to enjoy this book. Listen, this ain't that book club. It's Wednesday. We got to pick a book. All right. So what we got to do next is we have got to do a couple of things down here on Facebook, get them into the conversation. So, and then also I need to, you know me, I need to do a couple of things here on YouTube to get DryerBuzz.com into the conversation. And then we're going to go ahead and invite some people on our Facebook that are going to watch it. You know, we are always live and interactive and excited. It is Wednesday, right? I hope it's Wednesday. If it isn't, I'm either a day early or a day late. But I'm going to invite some people in because I know they'll come in and they'll like and share. Some will sit and watch and engage with us. And then also there are going to be those that are going to come back and watch on demand, but they know that we are always putting out great content. Is that enough? I think so. Okay, good. All right, so we got that going. Good morning, everybody. Hi, Kimberly Simmons. Nasir Muhammad, we've got to get together. I got so much to ask you. Let's see. And Tanya, I hope I said that right. All right, so I'm going to switch you guys over to your regular filter. Give me just a second. We'll get that going so that you guys can see me. I just love that start filter. All right. Let me see if I need to bring that down a little bit. I was trying to get it all situated because we have two screens above you guys. Let me see if I can close that up. Okay, cool. Now I can see everybody. Above you guys, I have YouTube. And I'm actually making this video for YouTube, but I like answering your questions and so forth. And you guys have a lot of questions. Good morning. So what I want to do is, you know, there's a couple things I need to do on YouTube. Let's see here. And this is a little series that we call This Ain't That Book Club. See, it says I'm live right there. Let me mute that. Let me just mute my computer because we're going to do a couple of things on here. And I'm going to just add it to a couple of playlists so that it will appear, DryerBuzz Live, so that it'll appear on DryerBuzz.com. For those of you, if you're watching these videos anywhere else, Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, Twitter, all of those kind of places, we have a home base. It's called DryerBuzz.com. And we're putting so much great information out there. Like, did you know that in all this stuff that's going on, that you should have cleaned out your kitchen, went out and purchased a whole lot of Aisha Curry, that she now has a Aisha Curry home collection. And so you should be cooking with her products and so forth. So it's Wednesday. We have something at DryerBuzz, and I did not grab something to drink. We have something at DryerBuzz we call This Ain't That Book Club. And we started it over the summer as we took our summer hiatus, because we take a summer hiatus from blogging, right? And when we take our summer hiatus, give me just a second to kind of get out of the way here. I think, yeah, okay. When we take our summer hiatus during the summer, we just kind of sit around. We don't do much of anything. So I wanted to read this summer, and we literally explored. I won't say that we read because this ain't that book club. We don't read the books from cover to cover, but we literally explored some 20, almost 30 plus books and counting. And so I asked on the live stream if we should continue, and everybody was like, let's keep it going. You guys are really loving these books. And so what I'm doing now is we decided to keep it going. Even though, and I have Kevin Hart's book sitting right here, I have a book sitting right here, and this is a book that I wrote. It's called 27 Answers to Create Buzz. So when you guys ask me each and every day how to create buzz, how to blog, and all those kind of things, first thing I'm gonna ask you is, do you have a book, right? 27 Answers to Create Buzz, and that one is 27 articles that I wrote on the blog, took down from the blog, printed them in the book. If you want to create buzz, if you want to use social media for business, if you don't want any brand backlash, if you don't want any negativity or side effects or have to make any apologies, and you putting your business online, and we see that a lot these days. There was a brand backlash this morning, or at the tape prior to post time. There was brand backlash in Atlanta over a tweet, right, involving the mayor and city council and the mayor's office and all those kind of things that's going on. And that was some exciting morning for you. Okay, I hope I'm in the shot right. I think I am. So you guys said, Yolanda, let's keep it going. Let's really make it a part of DryerBuzz.com. And so you can, if you miss any of it, there's a hashtag. This ain't that book club. Blackberry Days of Summer. Did we do that one? That sounds familiar. I think we did. I want to say we did that. Blackberry Days of Summer. Girl, stop playing with me. Ruth Parrish Watson is in the video. Because that was the play. Wait a minute, they shortened the name of the play. What was the name of the play? Yes. I walked in I went to see this play and I kept trying to think, why does this play sound familiar? And of course, the author was there. And Blackberry Days of Summer. Oh my God. Blackberry Days was so freaking good. Oh my God. Please, did I get the book? I think I don't know if I intended to get that book that night or you'd already given me the book. I've got to read that. Blackberry Days was the name of the play. It was put on here in Atlanta and it starred everybody's favorite. Okay, she catch me off guard. Kyle Barker, T.C. Watson, right? Everybody's favorite from Living Single. Kyle Barker was in this play, Blackberry Days, and it was dated. Was it like the 40s, maybe the 30s? What, girl? Okay, I'm gonna have to find her somewhere in this city and talk to her because that was an amazing production. It was an amazing production, put on at one of my favorite plays at Horizon Theater. So you already know the intimacy we had with the production because everything at Horizon Theater, you sit in your seat and the play is like right there. And the actors are like right here, coming and utilizing all of it. And that was one of the best that I have seen this year. Let me just say that, okay? And thank you so much, Ruth. T.C. Carson, what did I call him? Watson. Okay, he did all that video for me. And I'm bad with names. Everybody knows that. But thank you so much for allowing your dream. Because we talk about that on it's bigger than you. That's the lesson this year. You know, the lesson last couple of years has been getting out of our way and changing our mindset. And what I love about it, she wrote a book and it's called Blackberry Summer. And they did a play called Blackberry Days. That's what we talked about just the other day about when I was on Michael and Joy about somebody will come along and see what you're doing and see a bigger vision of it than you are. And you when you hear people give their thank you speeches and so forth, and they always say they didn't dream that big. They had a dream, but it wasn't that as big as what they later are recognized for. You never know if you are where you are in your journey. You never know who's watching. Like I'm on 2 live streams here, and you never know who's going to come with ideas. And a lot of times as creatives, you know, somebody will bring us something and we'll kind of starve it off like, how dare you intrude on my vision, but you never know what people see. And what's her name? Oh my God, I'm so bad with names this morning. But one of the young ladies I had on the stream, and she and I had lunch and all this kind of stuff. And she said something really great. Take the sting out of it. Look at that. All my non-social media etiquette people are like calling because they don't know to check your timeline before to see what you're doing. Hey, June Ford. So I love that you allowed your work, Ruth, to go on because once it's on the page, and then it's on the stage, I can't think of nobody's name because y'all done just took me. I come on here about to do a quick 5-minute video and y'all taking me down memory lane. Steph Stewart. If it ain't on the page, I don't even know if Steph Stewart said it or no, I think August Wilson said it, but a lot of people in theater say it. If it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage. And then there's another part of that. One thing about creatives, one thing about entrepreneurs is we've got to learn how to put it on paper. Lord have mercy. She sent me messages. We have got to learn. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, you didn't. You can't. I was getting ready to push the button, Sean, and you called. But no, let me say this. We've got to learn how to put our dreams on paper. We got to stop keeping it all up here. We've got to learn how to delegate. We've got to learn how to let somebody come in and take a part of it because that part of it is bigger than us and it could be more profitable. Like say, for instance, I wanted to retire DryerBuzz.com. I didn't know what else I could possibly write about. I've been writing about justice issues and entertainment and theater and stage and living in Atlanta, for 16 years. I'm like, well, what else is there? What else is there to talk about? And then lo and behold, here it's like a whole new world. It's like a whole new world. It's like, here comes the digital divide again, right? Here comes this new gig economy, which I'm thriving off of, convenience economy. And then to be able to go back into my crates and crates of books that I've received over the years. And, where we started this with your mainstream books, I want to reach over and get this book, but I'm not. Where I start, hey, Dr. Henry, Carolyn Simmons, hello, everybody coming on. We started with the mainstream books. You know me, my motto is support potential, and potential will become popular, right? Don't just always go for the popular ones. And so what I decided to do is I am redoing my bookshelves and going through the books, and I'm looking at a lot of these books, and I'm like, wait a minute, these books are signed, when did I meet these people? And this one is from Jaye Corley, and I probably met him at one of the hair shows or something, because it says that he's a barber of 7 years, licensed professional in the financial industry, and a student of life. Mr. Corley has found great purpose in helping others to have the best life possible. This book was written to provide knowledge to individuals and encourage them to take power over their life. And we weren't even Facebook friends, but I remember, I think, being out and meeting him, and he wanted to give me a copy of this book. People have always been wowed by my efforts to do something positive. It's me who has yet to find what I do something special. The book You Next is a book that embraces the concepts of discovering, changing, and building yourself to be the person that you want to be. This book takes you on a journey from being a person to creating a person, as it backgrounds a young man's youth and early adult years to detail his quest to become successful in life. And it's called You Next. And you notice that's some barber term. And I'm like, hey, this will be perfect. And when I'm looking, I was going through the books. I have a stack and a crate of books from friends, people that I've encountered. And I saw that it was signed. And I was trying to remember when did he give me this book. And I said, well, since we're doing this ain't that book club on Wednesdays, we're not doing it like we did before, where we spend the entire week just kind of going through the book. I'm just going to come on and kind of show you, this ain't that book club. It just ain't that book club. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of the book. We're not going to read a lot of it, but I will explore it. No croquettes or grits this morning. I think there's some bacon and there may be some grits. I'm not sure. We didn't do full-on breakfast. In fact, I just got back home and I was like, okay, well, I forgot I got to do this ain't that book club. So as a blogger of 16 years, if you've never seen me swipe to my profile, those of you that are on YouTube, you will find over a decade of content that I have placed on YouTube prior to this video. I'm also the blogger of DryerBuzz.com. I'm the author of 27 Answers to Create Buzz. Here's a basket of books that we have already explored. This was our book club, our book for last week. It was called Escape, Discover, Rejuvenate, Let Travel Be Your Cure. It's by Demetria Bryan, again, someone that I know, and also one of my customers who have purchased more 27 Answers than probably even this person, which was the book before that. And we talked about these books because one of the things I'm telling you, for every occasion, buy a book. For every occasion, give a kid a basket of books. But these two ladies listened to me when I said your book is your business card. So rather than just passing out their business card, they created these mini books, which basically can serve as catalogs. If you are in business, you should have a mini book like this because it costs probably the same amount you're going to spend on business cards and flyers and any other promotional item to actually print a book now. And you can see it's just little mini books, and you can give this out with your business card. Because I'll tell you, she's given me her business card. I have no idea what I've done with it. And how many times of trying to go to her website, I know to go to her book. She gave me her book. And you know what I ended up doing with her book? I put it right next on the shelf next to my book by the Dalai Lama. So the other day, last week when I went to go read the Book of Joy by the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu, I saw this and I said, I really want to travel. And it said, let travel be your cure. I was like, that's Demetria's book. So you should, no matter what industry you're in, no matter what business you're in, you should have a book. My book is the same way. It's a mini book. It's literally 27 articles from my blog website. I love that slogan, your book is your, and thank you so much for sharing that slogan. Not only do you love it, but you shared it. I hope, and I know you already have a book. Henry is also an author as well. But I can hand out. In fact, I'm getting ready to order a couple cases of books for an event. I'm going to a golf event, right? In fact, not only am I going to the event, I purchased a table at the event, and guess what? I'm going to have books. Not only am I going to have books, I'm going to create gift baskets that I'm going to give away at this event, and I might just let everybody go home with a book because I want them to create buzz, right? But I can reimburse because of the size of the book. I can fully reimburse each expense, FREE. I can fully reimburse each expense, which means I can literally give the book away to those who are going to create buzz where I know other opportunities are going to come from that. I'm not only going to hand out business cards, I'm going to put my business card in my book, okay? So that's why you should have a book. No matter what industry you're in, no matter who your customer base is, people are not gonna, they're gonna toss your business card. They might toss your flyer, or even if they don't, even if they hold on to your business card forever, how long are they gonna look at that business card trying to wonder what was the call to action? What was I supposed to do with this card? What services can they offer me, right? So the book is basically the full details of that. The number one thing that people ask me, well, how do I create buzz for my business? How do I create a blog? How do I master social media? How do I network, right? And I just tell them literally what page to go through. I got an inbox as I was walking in the door, okay, of a blog question. And I answered it, and I could tell them, listen, go to page so and so and so and so. When you think about the calls that you're getting, you think about the emails and the inboxes and the DMs that you receive about your business, to be able to tell that person what page to go to or where to go on your website. And a lot of times right now, because of social media and technology, sending a person to your social media or sending a person to your website, they could get lost because of the habits that people now have. You send somebody and say, oh, well, go like me on Instagram. They're going to go like you on Instagram. You know what Instagram is going to tell them? Instagram is then going to tell them, okay, well, you like that person, go like these 20 others that are their competition. They're doing the same thing, right? You go tell them like your Facebook page. They go like your Facebook page. Facebook is then going to move all your information out the way. So if you like that one, here's 5, 10 others. But if you give them your book, you then have them in your intimate space. And what I love about This Ain't That Book Club is when I just open up a page and I can just read. Being skilled with numbers can be used in other ways and in more productive ways. For instance, you can learn how to build up your credit and think about investing. Another example is to invest in things like a car, which is another way of spending money, but it can give you opportunities to earn more. Then maybe a house, which is more expensive than an apartment, but then you own something. It's about how you use the knowledge you do have. The revenue received from betting is extremely disappropriate to the way that knowledge could be used to earn a lot more. But an underdeveloped, non-maturing mind prevents a person from acting on the knowledge they have. You have to use what you know. Thank you so much, Jaye Corley. And I just sent him a friend request before we came on. So when he accepts that friend request and goes to the timeline, he's going to see that his book, You Next, is our book of the week for This Ain't That Book Club. So just talking about books and why, I know you guys are wondering, like, why is everybody becoming an author? Because you need that intimacy with your customers. You need that intimacy. And because people who know how to do something, they've written a book about it and want to share with everybody else. So we read a little bit of why Jaye wrote this book, and there's a little bit of dedication, his preface. My intentions when I wrote this book were simply to talk about the concept of building yourself. The concept of building yourself means to recognize the person that you are today and consciously work toward goals and plans to be a better you tomorrow. This book started out as a straightforward type of literature, with me diving right into the barbershop setting and hitting on the principles that I felt were important for people to understand. As the book developed, my editor suggested I give some background on the main character to show a path of growth and development. Throughout the chapters, I molded my personal experience and other personal experiences so that I could provide the stories needed for life. I hope that the readers would absorb the information and that it would make a difference in their lives. Whenever I give a brief synopsis of the book, one of the first responses is, oh, it's a book about your life. When I hear that, my response is no. It's a lesson on life. If I were to write a book solely on my life, I would have a very different view to tell other than an inspiring entrepreneur. Really, I don't know how I would tell my story. I never focused on me. It was more about the lessons of life and information, how to apply these lessons. Most of the information as far as growth and development that I talked about in my book are only targeted to adults ages 40 and older. And I think that definitely speaks. Your book is your business card, right? Especially you, Curtis. And I can imagine when you think about your book being your business cards, you think, I hate when your nose itches, like right when you do your live stream. You think about all the questions that people ask you in every encounter and every time you have to explain what you offer in business. I'm sorry, YouTube, for always looking down. I'm sorry, Facebook, for always looking up, but I have to go kind of in between because you know everybody now is doing a dual broadcast. So please be understanding. Most of the time, I'm going to be looking in the book as I read anyway. But when you think about the questions, when you get to a point in doing what you're doing, and once you've done it for a number of years, you become an expert. I think somebody said 10,000 hours or something like that. Once you get to that point, you can probably tell somebody how to do something. And so that's what we are looking at. So I'm just going to open up to different pages because this ain't that book club, but I do want to always kind of give you a little bit of the table of contents and a little bit of the preface, dedication, why the book was written, and so forth, the introduction. The book is, and we like books that read like blogs. We like books that we can put on the bookshelf and kind of come to whenever we need a little something here or there. And so the table of contents is a page and a half, and it's chapter 1, growing up. Chapter 2, one mistake can cost you. Chapter 3, a new beginning. Chapter 4, time for another change. Chapter 5, to a new place. Chapter 6, you're always learning in life, y'all. Chapter 7, cycles. Chapter 8, using your time wisely. I know that'll speak to some people. Chapter 9 is strong mindset. We spent a whole year working on mindset. Chapter 10, building yourself. Chapter 11 is vision. And chapter 12, my notes on the next you. And the next you, this is you next. The next you we're reading this week. This week we're exploring. This is by Jaye, Corley, and there's a spelling of his name if anybody needs it. It's also in both titles, and you can actually find him on Facebook, and we'll also encourage him to do a post so that you guys can get copies of the book. And I almost feel like I remember talking to him, and he was either raising funds to give the book away to schools or students or organizations or something like that. I know at some event we had a conversation, and of course, like I said, when people give you their book, when people give you a book, when you give somebody a book, they keep it, especially if you sign it, right? Especially if you sign it. Now, ask me where his business card, I don't know. Ask me where his website, I don't know. I looked him up on Facebook. When I pulled the books, when I was going through the books to select today, I pulled him up on Facebook and noticed we weren't even Facebook friends. So I sent a Facebook friend request. All right, so I'm just going to kind of open. So, okay, we're still back. All right. I had a page open already that I wanted to read. You're always learning in life. Let me see how far back the front of that goes. Okay. We'll explore this chapter. You're always learning in life, y'all. All right. And it says, and I want to keep that on the thing so in case anybody comes in, they know we're reading. I was a little nervous today. I walked into Big Goose's barbershop to talk to him about becoming his barber apprentice. I met Goose a few months earlier when I visited his barbershop for the first time, selling educational audio books from a company I created, BYE Audio Books, which I'll talk more about later. Goose owned a shop in an aged retail plaza in a mostly white neighborhood in Sandy Springs, Georgia. The barbershop was the only Black business in the plaza at the time. It was a decent size, about 700 square foot, traditional in design. There were posters of haircut styles on the wall and a big square front window with a barber's pole in the logo. It had 4 barber stations, but rarely had 4 barbers, usually 3. When I started, I was the 4th barber, but soon after, one of the barbers died and we were back down to 3. Most of the clients were middle-class workers and their children. I made a favorable impression on Goose the day I visited him. He knew I was a business-minded guy, so he agreed to allow me to work under his master barber's license while I worked on acquiring my own license. I knew I had a lot to learn and that I would face some challenges as I learned to work as a barber. The first challenge surprised me. It wasn't anything I expected. Early one afternoon on a sunny day, about 3 weeks, let me make sure I'm on the right page. After I started working at Goose's, I was standing outside of the barbershop with another barber named Will. Keep in mind, I hadn't been there long, so I had not yet built any personal relationships with the other barbers. It can take a while for barbers to get acclimated to each other. A new barber isn't always welcome simply because of the intimacy of the work environment and the threat that he will take a share of walk-in customers, which makes the income of the other barbers go down. Also, black males are conditioned to have a certain level of competition and lack of trust. So it becomes a cool thing to passively ignore or look over one another. So I had a ways to go before I felt comfortable and secure there. On this particular afternoon, I was approached by a not so attractive middle-aged white woman who seemed to be under the influence of liquor. She walked up to us as we stood there just having small talk. "Hey, I know you," she said. "You don't know me," I said. "Yeah, I know you. Your name is Mike." "Lady, my name isn't Mike and you don't know me." "Yeah, I do. You took my purse." "I took your purse?" "Yeah, you're the guy who took my purse." Had to do 2 side eyes, okay? This was not a good thing for someone just starting a new job, right? There are a lot of things that you have to have in the business. Let me see. And trust is probably the most important. She was making me look shady. I didn't get upset. I guess it was the calm look of security on my face that ultimately encouraged the woman to move along after she threatened to notify the police that I was the guy who had stolen her purse. It's a good thing I knew how to keep my composure. As she left, Will and I walked into the barbershop. We shared the story with the other barbers. They looked puzzled and kept on with their work. The next day, when I walked in, Big Goose told me he realized what might have happened. There was, in fact, a guy named Mike who lived in that neighborhood, and from what Goose knew, he was the kind of guy who might very well have taken the lady's purse if the opportunity presented itself. When Goose told the story, the lingering tension in the shop was relieved, and it became an ongoing inside joke. From then on, I carried the nickname Mike. Anyway, they say that life is about making decisions, and for us, 3 barbers at what I would call Sucker's Barbershop, being a barber was a decision that was made every day, except on Sundays when the shop was closed. Now, the name Sucker's Barbershop doesn't imply that we barbers were actually suckers. It's just a metaphor to express how barbers all over the world have been suckered at one point or another into being a therapist or a creditor or a voice of reason. Also, I use the word as a joke. There are a lot of people out there who think barbers are suckers, like the customers who come in just shy of the cost of a haircut and waits until the end of the haircut to share that information. He then tries to make you believe that he thought the haircut was for the amount that he has, but he'll know better next time. Something like that happens nearly every day. There was always some incident that made us barbers shake our heads and say, "Man, they must think we're some suckers." Hello there, guys that are coming in. Outside of that, being a barber is not only a profession, it's sort of a privilege. It's an opportunity to uplift someone who is having a bad day. He leaves the shop feeling like a totally new and refreshed person ready for his next challenge in life. The power of a good haircut and a razor shave is enormous. From a smooth glide of well-oiled and well-tuned clippers to the clean and crisp smell of masculine aftershave, it helps to revitalize people day in and day out. And for those of you that are coming on, jumping on YouTube and jumping on Facebook, if you haven't seen me before, because you caught this video because somebody shared it, I'm Yolanda at DryerBuzz, 16-year blogger. We have something now that we call This Ain't That Book Club. And on Wednesdays, I'm going to do a live stream where we're going to explore a book. And I'll just take you into a book. And right now, we're exploring the myriad of books that I have received over the years that have been given to me, signed, the books that I've bought, books that I thought were fascinating. And then we'll go back to some of the mainstream books. But this ain't that book club. We don't read the book from beginning to end. I just come on and share a little bit with you. Hopefully that you will befriend the author, get to know the author, and purchase their book and explore more books. And like I said, for every occasion, buy a book. For every occasion, give a kid a basket of books. Here's a basket of books right here that we are curating for some of the books that we have recently read, and for some of them that we just feel like they just feed our spirit. So while we're here working in our workspace and we need a little bit of advice, we can always reach into our basket of books. Please keep a basket of books around you. And if you can't decide what books to put in your basket of books, I invite you to watch This Ain't That Book Club. We love books that read like blogs. We love books that we can place in our basket of books and just open up and read and get good information like this and explore industries, explore good stories. Now, we read mostly how-to books. We read mostly memoirs. We read mostly not yet necessarily novels and so forth, although we do explore them because we do love great stories and great storytellers, okay? All right, where do we stop? Okay, on a typical day, there were many chances to learn things, and dealing with certain things day in and day out made so many things clear to me. What up, Goose? I said as I walked into the barbershop to find him already 2 clients into his typical busy Friday. Big Goose, by the way, had earned his alias in 2 parts. First, he'd acquired the typical weight for a 5'9" guy in his early 40s. And second, he liked to enjoy a few shots of Grey Goose at the local bar after a day's work. What up, Mike? He chuckled, using my nickname. I walked over to my station looking up to make sure BYE TV, an educational video program I started, an extension of BYE audio, was on and working properly. Put my laptop down and took a quick glance in the mirror. It's like you have to check to make sure you got your stuff tight before you start work on somebody else. What's happening today, Goose? I asked. Nothing. Just the usual walk-in customers coming to the shop an hour before it opens. Though there are 2 signs on the door that clearly state that we're open at 10 o'clock. I don't understand why people waste time and gas every week doing the same thing. Not being able to service customers was an issue because Goose hated to lose money. If a customer came to the barbershop and ended up leaving without getting a haircut for whatever reason, it's like watching your money walk away from you. Goose, can you give me some Kool-Aid, please? I'm down and thirsty. Goose, I'm sorry. Goose tried to run his shop as professional as possible. He scheduled clients and had normal business hours. And Goose knew that walk-in customers sometimes arrived before business hours began because he sometimes scheduled appointments for loyal customers before we were officially opened. He'd see people walk up to the door, read the closed sign, and turn around and walk away. While many barbers come to work at 12 or 1 o'clock and work until 8 or 9 p.m. or even later, we came to work at 10 and closed at 7. We operated on appointments, which meant that we tried to schedule our days much like other professionals such as doctor or dentist. The problem was thank you guys so much for watching on YouTube. The problem was, where did I stop? The problem was that many clients didn't see making an appointment to get a haircut the way we did. Although they called and made an appointment, I'm one of those people, I'm going to show up, just show up. Although they called and made an appointment to see a chiropractor or an attorney, the barbershop for them was more of a laid-back environment that shouldn't require an appointment. Clients would drop by at their leisure and take their chances that a barber would be free, which caused a pileup of customers. Some customers would leave and go somewhere else when they couldn't get right in the chair. The phone number is right there on the door, said Goose. I don't know why they don't use it. Since I didn't have a customer yet, I sat down in my chair and pulled out a book. What are you reading? Asked the regular customer Goose was working on. A business book, I said. It's pretty good. Has some good principles. I turned it over and looked at the cover, excited to be near the end. I like novels, said the man. Do you read novels? No, never got into novels. I like history. I said, as in business. I like educational books. You should try a novel, the man replied. I'll bring you one. Yeah, that would be cool, I said, nodding as I went back to my book. People think that black men don't read, but we do. We read books, stats, numbers, magazines, flyers, and a variety of other things. I was beginning to learn that what they read creates the activity in their life. As you get older, you should get smarter. I was figuring out. I was figuring out. I was beginning to realize that a lot of men having trouble making the transition from boyhood to manhood. I heard it put that way in a book by T.D. Jakes, and I was seeing it in the shop, so I find it to be true. If a man doesn't transition from boyhood to manhood, it makes it difficult to participate in life and to have a good quality of life. Do I need to read that again? If a man doesn't transition from boyhood to manhood, ladies, I think we are reading in the language of men here. Okay. If a man doesn't transition from boyhood to manhood, it makes it difficult to participate in life and to have a good quality of life. A few minutes later, a guy walked in. He was a young guy who had been in before. He usually stopped by about every 3 weeks. He was quite quiet, but spoke some when he came in. What up? What up, dog? The suckers. The other barbers replied. What are you reading? Business, the guy asked me. He was looking at me, trying to start a conversation that would coast him through a smooth, relaxing haircut. Yeah, are you into business? I asked. Yeah, I want to have my own business. What type of business? I don't know, but something, he said. How old are you? 20. Are you in school for business? No, I'm not in school. Why don't you go to school to learn how to run a business? I suggested, looking at him with concern, not judgment. And I hope you guys are, I'm going to have to cover up on Facebook so you can see the book on YouTube, y'all. I don't have a ride and the bus doesn't go that far. Well, you've got to get yourself a car. I have a car, but I don't have a driver's license. You don't have a driver's license? No, the guy said and smirked. I have to take my test. Wow, I have a driver's license. I had a driver's license when I was 17. So I threw out to the shop. How old were y'all when y'all got y'all driver's license? 17, one guy said. 18, another guy said. You have to get your driver's license, I said to my customer. That's important. I did not want to become a coach, although if I were given the chance, I'd myself I'd make use of it and do it in the hopes of making a difference. I just thought this dude always has on the latest fashion, slightly worn, but the latest. So he had some money, but he wasn't spending it on the things that could help him with his goal of being a businessman. I finished the haircut and the guy left. I tried to talk to that dude, Goose said, shaking his head with the futility of it. Man, I said, dusting off my clippers. Then I moved to cleaning up the chair. These guys just don't get it, Big Goose said. I don't know what they are going to do. I said, how are you going to get around with no driver's license? Will, the third barber, chimed in. I had to tell him not to drive the car without a license because if he got stopped by the police, it'll cause huge problems for him. We all shook our heads. It's going to be hard for these young dudes to have a successful life, I said. A few hours later, the door banged open and the clothing supply guy walked in. Fellas, with one hand, he was carrying a couple pairs of Air Force Ones, shoes that never held up well. And on the other side, he had an armful of extra larger, and sometimes super large t-shirts. What up? I said. The guy scanned the room to see if anyone was interested in the shoes or shirts. Nobody moved or said anything, so he headed straight toward Goose, his primary buyer in the shop. Clothing supply guy. I like the name of that. Clothing supply guy sometimes got one or two sales from the shop's clients or barbers, but mostly he came looking for Goose. He never came with anything the bulk of the shop clients or even the barbers could use. As he showed the stuff to Goose, I realized it was the exact same stuff my last customer was wearing. He had no license, but he did have exactly the same imitation street gear this guy was selling. It was the stuff that rappers and actors wore. I shook my head. Youth are committed to dressing like entertainers and sports fans at work instead of saving that stuff for their time off and buying the attire of a business professional or the casual wear of a person attending a networking event. In fact, the everyday appearance of a male seems to be chilling unless they're in a work uniform. This mentality won't help a male who wants real wealth or assets. Many times I've shared the idea with the barbers and my customer. A barbershop may be one of the only places that a person can be enlightened without taking offense. Nobody wants any turf toes, said somebody in the shop. He was joking. Story has it that someone was jogging in a pair of Air Force Ones and while crossing a road, tripped on the curb and got turf toe. It's an injury that football players usually get when abruptly jamming their big toe during practice or a game. No, I'm straight, said another guy, cracking everybody up. Truth was, durability of the shoe was at a minimum and wearability was about 2 to 3 events. They were good for what they were good for, wearing a fresh pair of sneakers one day. All right, guys, I'm going to stop there. It does continue on. What solutions, people? Let's see. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and continue because he does get to solutions. And we're just reading one chapter. This ain't that book club. We don't read the whole book. And I'm not going to spoil alert and give you the whole book. But I do like to try. How much time I got? I think we're good. Okay. So you're always learning in life. It's a chapter in the Next You, which is written by Jaye Corley. He is tagged in the in each video. So hopefully he'll jump on and tell us where you guys can acquire the book. It was given to me, I believe, at an event or networking, and a signed copy at that. And so as we are exploring, because this ain't that book club, we don't just explore books, we explore all mediums. And we said we were going to do some apps as well. So I guess I need to find you guys an app to try as well. All right, so he does go on to solutions. So what are some solutions? What's a solution for the problem that we've seen with young adults not maturing? Education. There has to be some kind of continuous education on the part of any person who wishes to advance in life. We won't get into the issue of those who are fine the way they are, whether we see them in a state of poverty or not. We will instead carry on as though most people in life have a natural desire to get to a new level of achievement as they get older. And I like how he said that, because in this ain't that book club, we will stop and have a conversation. I like I like the fact that he said that, because what happens is there are those who have amazing solutions out there, but they stop. They stop at one-on-one and they're waiting for everybody to get to a point of understanding. They wait for everybody to get to a place ready to listen, and that's not gonna happen. What happens is, while you are waiting for everybody, you lose the ones that you have. Like if I would have stopped right here and didn't go on to read these solutions, you guys would have been stuck right there. And I'm not about leaving anybody stuck. So let's go on. And I'm going to read that again. We won't get into the issue of those who are fine the way they are, whether we see them in a state of poverty or not. We will instead carry on as though most people in life have a natural desire to get to a new level of achievement as they get older. That's going to be our takeaway for the day. Okay? Because if we stay right there trying to figure out why poverty exists or why certain people don't have the desire, then we lose the ones who do have the desire. We leave them as stuck as those who don't have the desire. And that's what's going on in our world. We are keeping everybody else stuck because we're trying to wait for everybody to get it. Everybody's not going to get it. You got to be comfortable with leaving some people behind. I'm not going to wait for, if I waited for everybody, if I say to wait for everybody to come on, to This Ain't That Book Club, then you guys won't be going out buying books. You won't be buying 27 Essence. You won't be buying Escape, Discover, Rejuvenate, right? You won't get it. We got to stop leaving everybody stuck because some people are stuck. Read it one more time. We won't get into the issue of those who are fine the way they are, whether we see them in a state of poverty or not. We will instead carry on as though most people in life have a natural desire to get to a new level of achievement as they get older. The thing that most people miss is that you have to learn how to improve yourself. More importantly, you have to make a conscious effort to learn how to improve your situation. If you are not getting a job, you have to learn why you're not getting a job. I mean, yeah. Okay, wait. Let me read that again. More importantly, you have to make a conscious effort to learn how to improve your situation. If you are not getting a job, you have to learn why you're not getting a job. Okay, I got it. So if you don't get a job, at least figure out why it is you're not getting a job. Is it the way you fill out the application? Is it how you are dressed? Is it how you interview? If you are not running a profitable business or having success in selling an idea or a product, ask yourself why and find a way to change what might be the issue. Too often people live their lives going with the flow, meaning they accept whatever life hands them. Oftentimes, this causes very stressful situations. Continuing education and growth is key to a boy becoming a man. If the boy doesn't continue to get educated, whether through an institution or through personal initiatives, he will find himself aging physically but not mentally. It is important for a male to be able to recognize what information is helpful to him and what information is interfering with his progress in life. For example, which of the two following pieces of information have more value to the average person in today's society? Number one, which male or female is the best performer, singer, or songwriter? Number two, which male or female has produced a product that will hold a reasonable value? By reasonable value, I mean that once it's purchased, it can be considered an asset. If you're struggling with the answer to the question or have chosen number one, you probably have some learning to do. Perhaps you should evaluate your maturity level as it pertains to your real age. There is so much information available today on TV, on the internet, and in books and magazines, etc. As a growing person, it is your individual responsibility to recognize and focus on that which will bring progress into your life. And looks like he does go on to continue. He's about another page and a half. I'm going to stop there because we're going to do it run out of time. But this ain't that book. This ain't that book club. So we can stop right there. And we can close the book. Thank you so much for the like. Thank you so much for watching. On Wednesdays, guys, you can catch me. I'm going to go through the crates and crates and crates and crates and crates of books that I have. And the books that I have received after 16 years of blogging at DryerBuzz.com. The books come in the mail. The books are handed to me when I'm out networking, especially now that everybody knows that we are continuing This Ain't That Book Club. We have, from summer to now, going through some 20, maybe 25, 30 selections. We not only explore books, we explore DVDs, because when you go into the stores, you'll notice that the DVD section is still just as big as the book section. We also explore bookstores. I go out and I check out the bookstores. We went in one bookstore and it's like they following us around like we about to steal a book on live stream. We called them out, okay? But I'm redoing my bookshelves. I'm creating a basket of books to go here in my workspace. I'm excited to add this book to my workspace. One, because my website is DryerBuzz. This book is written by a barber, not only a barber, but a licensed professional in the financial industry, a student of life, Mr. Corley. Thank you so much for giving me a copy of this book. And we don't remember when Mr. Corley gave me a copy of this book, but I kept it. And this is why I say your book is your business card. You should have a book. You should have a book no matter the size. If you are in any kind of particular industry, if you have a customer, you're trying to inspire somebody, put it in a book, put it in their hands, and they'll keep it. They'll hold on to it. I held on to this book. And as I went through, as the time came for me to select another book, and I was going through the books, when I was going through my books, I actually put this on my bookshelf, and it's called You Next, because that's a barbershop term, but it's talking about the next you. And I love that, and I hope somebody put it in there. Wait a minute, because I lost the page. I forgot to give you the page number, But I love that about not waiting. He strong mindset. I can't wait to get to that chapter. Using your time wisely is also a chapter. Cycles is a chapter. Learning, y'all. Let me see. Let me go back. I love that where he and at the end of the chapter, and I hope at the end of each chapter, he talks about the solution. We won't get into the issue of those, and this is where we spend big time on social media. We get into the issue of those who not trying to change their life. So he says, Jay Corley says, we won't get into the issue of those who are fine the way they are, whether we see them in a state of poverty or not. We will instead carry on as though most people in life have a natural desire to get to a new level of achievement as they get older. I love that. And then the other takeaway that I love that he said was, continued education and growth is the key to a boy becoming a man. If you are struggling with the answers to the question, you're probably not in the learning. You need to evaluate your own maturity. Reading this information, watching, is that the part I did? But there was another one, another takeaway. I have to go back and find it because I definitely want to tweet that out. I mean, we won't get into the issue of those who are fine the way they are. That right there, I know for a fact is holding a lot of people back because people, you are probably at a point of being able to elevate yourself, and you're looking around, and all you see is people who are fine the way they are, and it makes you wonder why you should change, or because you have a yearning to change, because you have a yearning for growth, because you have a yearning for something new, for yearning for something different. All you have to do now is find the courage and the confidence, and I think that exists in this book. Jay Corley, thank you again for putting this in my hand. And I think he probably, and you know what, and I probably need to pass this on and to my son, because and I'm thinking, shoot, my son probably got this. So the next young man I see, I'm gonna pass. And Jay probably gave me a copy. I'm really trying to remember the conversation I had with him, and I think I remember him talking about it. Let's look up this BYE. And don't sleep on that. He said he did an audio book as well as a TV channel. But great job. Awesome. I love it. And I love that it's from a perspective of the barbershop. So if you have a young man that likes to read, or even if you don't have a young man that hasn't explored reading yet, because this one has a barbershop setting, I think young men will take to it. And so, like I said, for every occasion, buy a book. For every occasion, give a kid a basket of books. And this is going to go in our basket of books. And I'm going to just turn around here just for a second. Please, if you will, check out DryerBuzz.com. If you want to catch any more of our videos, you catch them on other platforms, and you want to be notified when we go live, you need to be at DryerBuzz.com. In the sidebar, if you're on the desktop at DryerBuzz.com, you'll see it. If you're on your mobile devices, the video will automatically play in the scroll. So get your scroll on. But let me say this about you and your phones and your other devices, okay? Being on your phone and your other devices has created yet again a new digital divide, and we need to address that. You need to have broadband in the home. You need to have a desktop in the home, whether it be a laptop or a full-on desktop with broadband. All my cord cutters, you not only you might be cutting out some expense, but you're also cutting out what could be the greatest education. When he talked about learning, continued learning, and that's only look at DryerBuzz in the desktop version. Look how much information. If you're on your mobile, the only thing you're seeing is about this much, this right here in the center. But on your desktop, look at what you're missing. The same thing when you go to Facebook and other platforms and social media and so forth. Even though you get these things on apps and convenience to take it with you, you still at some point need to come back to it, especially if you have children in the home. Especially even if you have seniors, you can extend their lives by allowing them to be in this environment. I remember my mother spent hours on the computer, playing games, and also continued education. She did a lot of continued education. She was a nurse, and it opened up a whole new world for her to do some of her learning and continued education online, and I would get notifications all day where she taking this workshop and webinars and all those kinds of things. It's just a whole new world. So don't just stay on your phone. Don't think that your phone is doing it all, because there's some control going on there based on algorithms and what you're seeing. And if all you are consuming is the same thing each and every day, and if you're only on platforms that are peer-to-peer, where only information you're getting, such as like you're on Snapchat and some of the other platforms, if all the information you're getting is what you're seeing in your timeline, and you're not going beyond your timeline, like say for instance on Twitter, all you are looking at is people you follow, and you're not going over there and looking at the trending topics, or you don't have any other, you haven't curated any lists. Like I have lists. I'll show you my Twitter, and I need to bring my I just found out that, or just realized that TweetDeck is still a thing. I thought TweetDeck was gone, and you see how many notifications I have there. But I also have lists, and these are people that I don't necessarily follow. Let me see, where did they put the list? Like there's this thing on here now called Moments, but I'm trying to get, here's the trending topics, and then I have, where did they put lists? They move this stuff around so much. I have my notifications. I want to go to my profile. Here we are, my list. These are people that I don't necessarily follow, but these are lists that some that I have curated, and there are lists that others have curated. There are lists that people have added me to. And I go back and I look at this. Somebody added me to a list of people who talk about unity, writers, bloggers, tech babes. Somebody added me to a list called Tech Babes, y'all, and there's 4,000 of us on that list. The Frontline, Braves fan, which I'm not necessarily, but I do tweet from the Braves game. Let's see, Aboriginal Thought. There's 78 people on that list. So if you're not going out and exploring the list and things like that, and you're only peer-to-peer, ask yourself, is the information, is the perception that I have, is it only peer-to-peer? Have I, in this world of having access to this technology, having access to these devices, have I explored, have I expanded my horizon? Have I expanded the bubble that we're in? If your only source is certain media and content and peers, then you're missing out. Go out there, read a timeline of somebody you not friends with, you don't follow. Just go out there. There are no walls. There are no barriers in this kind of thing, you know? So get to know some new people. That is the word of the day. Great takeaways. Thank you so much for Jaye Corley. His book is now in the basket over here. So that was our book of the week, and I tagged him, and hopefully he'll come back in and let us know where you guys can get a copy of the book. But for every occasion, buy a book. For every occasion, give a kid a basket book. It's Halloween. Don't just give out candy. Give them a basket of books. All right, guys. I'll see you guys next Wednesday for This Ain't That Book Club. But I'll be back tomorrow for all the hot topics and other reasons to blog at DryerBuzz.com. Have a great day. Bye.